World Series. We welcome to Middays now Greta Kemp Martin, candidate for Attorney General. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So I caught a little bit of your speech today. You're running a course for Attorney General. You have some history as a practicing attorney.
I do.
And you feel like Attorney General Lynn Fitch is kind of left some holes in the office, shall we say, that you seem to highlight today. Can you just tell us about that in your platform?
Absolutely. I think the largest hole that General Fitch has left is just the issue of corruption. I think we are all familiar with the scandal that has been ongoing regarding our of funds. And, you know, the biggest question I get on the campaign trail is why haven't the Attorney General gotten involved? Why hasn't she made a quote? Why hasn't she explained why this was punted to private attorneys and private law firms when the taxpayers pay her to look into public integrity issues? And so that's right at the top of my platform, because I don't think that we have scratched the surface on corruption in Mississippi politics. And even if we have or haven't, we deserve an Attorney General that's going to prosecute and investigate. And you know, I've been practicing attorney for 13 years. I've been a people-centered attorney. I've represented people in front of judges and juries across the state of Mississippi, and it just comes natural to me. I enjoy representing people, and I think that's what you need in an attorney general. Other than that, I have quite a bit of issues that I would tackle as attorney general, and but corruption is at the top of my list.
Okay, so if you were to be fortunate to win in November, be sworn in as Mississippi's next Attorney General, would you transition that case to the Attorney General's office away from the current private lawyers that are handling it?
Absolutely. I believe that it should be in the hands of the Attorney General. It is at the top of her job description to uphold public integrity and prosecute state corruption. You
talked about corruption. Are there some other areas of corruption that you've got in mind you would like to pursue if you're elected Attorney General?
Well, I think right in front and center, considering we are at the eve of a primary election day, I think looking at campaign finance law, I think that is an area of our state that has been left unprosecuted, uninvestigated, and I think Lieutenant Governor Hosemann has brought to light in his campaign with regards to Senator McDaniel's potential campaign finance violations. You know, the AG has the most clear authority to investigate and prosecute those complaints. And I believe that campaign finance is an area that the AG's office should be looking into and prosecuting those that do not follow the law.
Okay. Any other issues of corruption that you think the Attorney General should look into?
Well, I do believe the Attorney General has an obligation to look into law enforcement across the state. I think I mentioned today I am the daughter and granddaughter of law enforcement. I'm very well versed in the law enforcement community, but I also understand that there is a need for oversight for our law enforcement across the state. We, have some allegations of police misconduct coming out of Rankin County that they've asked the Attorney General to look into, and to date, she's not made any comment or any indication that her office is going to look into that. And I think that's another area where not only does our law enforcement need support, but I do believe the AG should provide some oversight.
As an attorney, you've been involved in disability rights, fighting for those. Tell us about that.
That's correct. I'm the litigation director for Disability Rights Mississippi. That is the protection and advocacy agency for the state. There's one in every state and territory in the United States. And what we do is provide pro bono advocacy and legal services for people with disabilities. And so we do that across all 82 counties. It is a job that I love and only one that I would give up for the opportunity to represent all Mississippians, but we do great work. And, people with disabilities deserve advocacy and they deserve representation, and I would continue that work as the Attorney General.
Does that also involve Social Security disability benefits? Do you get involved in that, for example?
We do a little bit of that. So we have been designated by Congress to oversee and monitor the Representative Payee Program, which is where people are appointed to be beneficiaries for people with disabilities. And so we have a team that looks into misuse and fraud in that program as well. And our Representative Payee team does a great job, and we are happy to do that work as well.
How's the campaign going?
It's going great. I've lived in Mississippi my whole life, and I have found cities that I did not know even existed. But my favorite part, I mentioned earlier, my father is running as a Republican for sheriff up in Tishomingo County.
Okay.
I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to spend a weekend campaigning with him, and that was a special moment. So I'm really excited about being able to share this election cycle with him.
You feel good about Election Day coming up in a couple of weeks?
I do. I think the people of Mississippi recognize that there needs to be a change in Attorney General. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you've got to put somebody in office that is willing to fight for you. And to be perfectly frank, I think the AG's office should be a role that's nonpartisan, because it's not about party politics when you're trying to apply the law, and it's not about that for me.
I see. Greta, appreciate you coming on. Good luck on the campaign.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Greta Kemp Martin is a candidate for Attorney General of the great state of Mississippi. We're out of time here today from Founders Square at the Neshoba County Fair. We certainly hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We're going to be right back here tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. I think we'll have candidates for governor coming on the show in the Element Well studio. Come by and see us at the Neshoba County Fair. You can't miss us. We're near the pavilion. Until then, stay safe.